I very rarely make scripts for videos, so this is new, this is exciting, but I want to talk about Pokemon, so script time, because otherwise I won't have any idea what's going on ever. Do Warrior Cats need to be made into Pokemon? No, absolutely not, yet here we are. And I'm gonna smooch the universe and say, you're gonna get it anyways, because I have two hands that can draw questionably. Also, an unhinged heart and soul. And I want Pokemon more. I want the cats and the Pokemon. I want to combine them in a smoothie of Pokemon warriors. So here are my goofy interpretations of warriors. Full send if they were Pokemon. Fakemon, whatever we call them. First off, we have Lion Blaze, who he's now Ego Praise. I've said it differently 7 times, so throughout this, it might change. This is where it gets scripted, and I'm gonna sound like a goofball, but I'm your goofball. It's said that Lego Praise has been hatched directly from the bloodlines of royalties and gods. Due to this, they're known to be quite egotistical and vain. In addition, its immense strength and battling prowess bolster this warriormon's pride and arrogance, making it at times a frustrating party member to deal with, as it believes it should always be in first place and ignores orders from those it deems lesser, which to them is basically everybody. When it does decide to cooperate, it receives a notable attack buff when standing along other members of its perceived royal family, making this warriormon quite a terrifying threat in the right conditions. Out of battle, Lego Praise spends most of its days flaunting its beautiful gleaming coat for all to see and covet. Under particular circumstances, when this warriormon is exposed to a specific trolley grief event, he evolves into Saiyan Rage. With this warriormon's evolution came a drastic personality change, and it became more scornful, bitter, and self-serving. The once proud and regal and well-kept warriormon is now brutish and brash and cares little for its appearance or how it affects others. Its only goal is to become stronger and stronger until it can prove itself to be the best without the help of anyone else. They spend hours working their jaws by snapping logs and trees, and uses their front paws to push heavy objects to increase their strength and stamina. Because of this deep desire to become stronger, Saiyan Rage has lost most of its strategic planning skills and opts now instead to just hit as hard as possible to prove that nothing can stand in its way. It's said that the shame of losing its appearance of royalty pushes Saiyan Rage to slowly become more brutish over time, feeding into a vicious cycle of what seems to be a backwards evolution. Oh my god, this one's so hard to say, don't know why I named it this. We have Jayfeather, who is now Wayrithidir, an ice and ghost type. Wayrithidir is shrouded in both mystery and secrecy. No one is exactly sure where this creature originated, nor what, if anything, it evolved from. Often seeming to appear and disappear at random, it becomes a very difficult task to attempt to keep track of its whereabouts at any given moment. It's said, however, if you're alone and begin to feel an icy chill going down your spine, as if someone might be watching you, there's a good chance that a Wayrithidir is lurking somewhere nearby. Despite this ice type's haunting blank stare, it is really well connected to the world around it and navigates it just as well, if not better, than most others. Many believe this warriormon lives in a realm between the living and the dead, which is what allows it to travel so effortlessly from place to place in the blink of an eye, leaving nothing but tiny ice crystals floating in the air where it stood moments before, shifting through realities as easy as a feather floats on the wind. If you can find a way to gain a Wayrithidir's trust, you will have an incredibly strong ally on your side who will stop at nothing to keep you safe. But despite a strong bond, always be wary of angering this warriormon, as it will still give even its closest friend a scathing attack if it deems it necessary. Next up we have Hollyleaf, who is now Trolleygrief, or Trollegriff, can't decide, I don't know, pick your poison, no pun intended, because it is a dark poison type. It's said that Trolleygrief was tasked by the stars themselves as the protector of truth and the one to keep the universe just. Due to this warriormon has faced near constant, debilitating guilt and worry as the weight of such a task slowly drives them mad. For the sake of many, could you actively sacrifice a small few who mean the most to you in the name of what's right and true? Or would you stand aside and let hundreds be condemned to live in shadows and deceit through your inaction? Trolley grief feels as though it has two constant fighting sides within the same body, each clawing and battling the other to decide what is truly right, making it as though this warriormon is made of two separate warring ideals fused cruelly into one being. When overwhelmed, this tortured soul makes rash decisions that end up hurting everyone, itself included. To avoid this, it will often disappear into the shadows, only seen by flashes of the bright red berries on its head that stare back from the darkness like eyes of a snake, bearing wisdom of the universe, daring someone to gaze into the real truth, even at the cost of your sanity. Lastly, we have a three-parter. And Squirrel Flight, we'll start with Squirrel Kit, who is now Squirrelflit. And she's just straight electric. Should she be fire type? Probably. Spoiler alert, she does not get the fire type. And I know she probably should be, and I feel like I'm gonna get put in the naughty boy box, which is just a cardboard box with Sharpie on it, just because I'm a little contrarian. Leave me a comment if you're angry. It helps me. Shoot me a comment down there. Say, hey, you little rascal. Yeah. Comment that, it'll help, or like, and subscribe. I don't know what it is. Why? We're losing it. Small and feisty, this tiny warriormon is always known to be flittering around from place to place at breakneck speeds, making it difficult to keep track of if you're not holding on tightly. This electric, elastic young creature is easily excitable and often makes little chirps and yips when something exciting catches its eye, though it's not too difficult to locate one if it's gone astray. Due to the high electricity in their body and the constant running around, Squirrelflit is always statically charged. While this creature does have a grounding mechanism within its one front paw to help the flow of electricity and keep it down to earth, due to Squirrelflit's constant moving and childish inexperience, it cannot use it effectively, if it uses it at all. The little live wire will quite literally throw itself into whatever whim or thought it has next. Its tiny little legs often cannot keep up with the speed that Squirrelflit wants to move, so it'll tuck them into its body and roll at a much greater speed than it could ever run. At its peak speed, Squirrelflit takes on the appearance of a furious, rolling, red-hot, zapping puffball, rather than an actual creature, confusing anyone who might stumble upon them. Evolved up from the feisty little Squirrelflit, Squirrelball loses its unruly and untamed personality in favor of a more headstrong and capricious one. Its longer legs and body allow this creature to move in a much more precise manner and have better control over its electrical power. Now, it can use its grounding paw to control the flow of its electricity, when it remembers to do so. Squirrelball stores up the energy it builds within its electrically charged tail, in an attempt to make itself appear larger and stronger than it actually is. This built-up electricity often causes the tail itself to twitch and jolt uncontrollably, similar to how a real squirrel's tail twitches. This pressing and building power acts as a time bomb, however, and the more energy it builds, the more likely it is to unexpectedly explode as it becomes overwhelmed by the pressure. Not one to back down from a challenge, this hot-headed warriormon is on its way to becoming immensely strong, so long as it can reel in the last bits of loose charge and headstrong attitude to get there. Evolving from Squirrelball, McQuirl is the third and final stage of Squirrelflit. Gaining the ground typing with this evolution, McQuirl has mastered the art of using its grounding paw to regulate and conduct both its electrical and emotional energy to unleash powerful attacks and calculated moves, all while being able to remain in control and focused. Driven by its love and dedication to its family, McQuirl takes on a maternal instinct so fierce, it's said to be rivaled by little else. The threat to the safety of its family is one of the only things that could shake McQuirl's hold on its grounding ability, as it becomes so engulfed with energy Even it can't control the power exploding from its body. They're said to have been seen using the very last breath of their body, shielding their family from any harm that might come to it. This warriormon is a true leader and is highly respected by those it comes in contact with. Only a foolish few would be unwise enough to try and challenge it or test its strength. And fewer still would be around after to tell the tale. That's it. That's the warrior cats of their Pokemon. Thank you for indulging me in this wonderful afternoon. That's that. I just wanted to look at Pokemon, and I got to. Thank you.